This week I'm focusing on women's health, specifically the period. Today I'm making a tea out of red raspberry and red clover. Red raspberry is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It's full of vitamin C and it's really good for menstrual cramps and period symptoms. The red clover contains isoflavones, which is similar to estrogen, and it helps relieve menopausal symptoms, which is also something I'm focused on. So I found this little teapot at a thrift store the other day, and I was really excited. It's a bucket list item. It's an infuser. So all you have to do is put your ingredients in it, pour the hot water over, and it infuses. So I went out earlier and I picked some fresh raspberry leaves and some fresh raspberries. There's only a few, but that's fine. There's plenty for this little amount. And also red clover. I also picked some fresh mint, and I have some stevia that I grew in my garden last year and dried. So I'm going to put all of those ingredients here and then boiling water over and let it steep. So now I'm going to let it steep for about 20 minutes. I picked up this little table at a yard sale for $15. It has great bones, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to add my little flair to it. I used several paint colors to add color interest, followed by a gold wash and a final gold rub. This mirror was given to me. It was white, which doesn't fit into my decor at all. So I painted all of my favorite colors. It was a perfect inspiration for this piece. It's the perfect display area for my crystal collection. A couple of weeks ago, we showed you how we extracted the wild lettuce in alcohol in our distiller. Today, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to show some really simple ways to do it without all of the equipment. I harvested some fresh lettuce this morning, and we're going to work at a 1-to-2 ratio. So you want to do at least a 1-to-2 ratio. The more that you put in the jar, the stronger it's going to be in the end. So you absolutely can use dried herb for this. I'm using fresh today, and I'm going to go ahead and just break it up and fill the jar halfway. And so now I'm going to add the alcohol. I'm just going to pour it all the way to the top. You want to make sure that all of your herb is completely submerged. You're going to want to put this in a dark place away from sunlight and shake it every day or two. I also want to add that we used 190 proof alcohol. So you're going to want to keep this in a dark place for at least 4 to 6 weeks. I usually just let it keep going. It's alcohol. It's going to be good forever. You just want to make sure that you shake it every so often so everything stays completely submerged. Now I'm going to infuse an olive oil with some wild lettuce that I have harvested and dried over the last few weeks. The reason we're using dried in the oil is because it doesn't contain water. If you use fresh, you can use fresh, but the water content in it can actually cause your oil to mold and go rancid. So with the dried herb, you want to use a 1 to 10 ratio. So we're going to go 1 part dried lettuce, and I usually am a little liberal with it, so I probably will go over, but you can put as little or as much as you want. So I'm going to fill my jar up about 1/4 of the way of the dried herb. And that's about good. And now I'm going to go ahead and just fill my jar up with the oil. Now this is a really, really good oil. The oil you use really does matter. So it's not cheap, so I use it as sparingly as possible. So we just put the lid on, give it a little shake, and again, stick it in a dark place. So you're going to want to let it sit for at least 10 days, probably. The longer, the better. And again, just check it every now and then to make sure that everything is covered. You definitely want to make sure that all of your herb is covered so it doesn't mold. Once the extraction is complete, you're going to want to strain it into whatever jar you plan to keep it in and store it away. So since this is 190 proof alcohol, you're definitely going to want to take and cut it with water, tea, whatever it is that you drink. You're going to want to cut it because otherwise it could be harmful. So once your oil is complete, then you can go ahead and use it in your salve, your lotions, or just, as oil. Someone asked me about coconut oil, if it's okay to use in salve, and I just want to say I use coconut oil all the time. The easiest way I found to infuse the coconut oil is to heat it, to melt it just slightly enough that you can put your herbs or whatever it is into it. Once it's completed its extraction, then just heat it back up a little bit so you can strain your herb out. And so that just leaves you with a nice infused oil. This in particular oil I have infused with mint and thyme. It will go with aloe, myrrh gum, and xylitol. So this will be for oral health. Here I have a wild lettuce tincture that's been sitting for a couple of months now. If you can see how different it looks and how dark it is. Here I have a plantain, dock, and echinacea in alcohol tincture. You can see how much it's broken down, how dark it is at this point. This has been going for about 2 months. And here I have a mixed wild leaf, which is wild lettuce, plantain, and violet. So it's been extracting for a couple of months now as well. And eventually this will probably become a salve or a lotion. I always have tinctures, oils infusing, oxymels, vinegars, all the things that keep on rotation. I always have them going. So when I want to make something specific, I want to make a specific salve for a friend or a certain purpose, then I can just go ahead and grab it. It's already done. If you wait until the last minute, then you do not have your infused oil. You're going to have to go a different route. So it's really important just to keep a few things on rotation so you can keep them on hand as needed. It's pretty good. You have to nod your head in agreement. It's pretty tasty. It's a beautiful day.